Hey, how's it going? Welcome to Thinking Out Loud. Basically, it's a show where we just kind of discuss our thoughts on our experiences with entrepreneurship and mental health. Just a quick background on what we're doing with this. Today, we're going to be discussing mental health with the ongoing battle with maintaining that, basically a healthy mindset. Just for people that don't know, from our experience, just to explain what Start Day One is. Start Day One is a nonprofit foundation for mental health and suicide prevention. Because from our experience with talking to so many people, we realized that the proactive approach is actually more effective when it comes to suicide prevention and helping people's mental health. A lot of these organizations today are very reactive. What they typically do is ask you is like, to call them when you actually become suicidal or when you become depressed. And that doesn't make sense to us. We believe in remedying the cause rather than the result. When you try to remedy the result, it never goes away because you never fix the problem, the cause of the problem. And we realize that when you talk to people way ahead of time, they never get to the result of depression, suicidal tendencies, and all that stuff. And that's why we create these videos, so we can actually reach out to people because they're never going to really reach out to you. Usually something random is more helpful to them. So today, the reason we want to discuss the ongoing battle is basically to let people realize that
they're not alone.
Not only that, mental health, it's like physical health. You don't lose weight and think that you can eat anything you want once you get there. That's just not how it works. Physical health is similar to mental health. For example, no one plans on gaining weight and being overweight, but there's still overweight people. There's not one person on this damn world that doesn't know to eat right and to exercise. The same reason people know to think positive and, think positive and just do, the right things, right? So it's an ongoing thing. It's not something that stops. Just like exercise and diet, you don't just stop one day and say, oh, I'm good now, so I guess I don't ever have to eat right or exercise. No, you're going to get unhealthy. And then slowly and gradually, you become overweight. It's the same thing with your mental health. When you don't apply these tactics or changing your perspective and, motivational, and mostly to me, it's really changing a perspective and just being aware of, how you are perceiving things and how you're handling things. And then all of a sudden, gradually, you start off complaining about life in general, right? This sucks. Coronavirus sucks. Oh man, lost my job. This sucks. So you concentrate on that. Right now, you're good because it's brand new. It's only been a month. But then all of a sudden, you lose your house. You lose someone else, from COVID-19. And all of a sudden, it's going to get worse. But you know about thinking positive. You know everything. But how's it still that you gradually going into depression without you knowing it? So you always have to do this like self-awareness and really just checking yourself and making sure that you're aware. And and the only way to do that is to constantly think about it, just like exercise. Just like exercise, you have to constantly do something, either changing your perspective, really being aware. What's your perspective right now? The reason I keep saying perspective for people that don't know is because I believe that it all stems from a bad perspective. Mm-hmm. So that perspective, when you have a bad one, that shit evolves to becoming suicidal tendencies over here. Because that's the very end, right? Once you commit suicide, that's it, party's over. But everything in between that, this is complaining right here. And then you get anxiety, depression, alcoholism, then you got drug addiction, then you got cutting. All that is one line. It's not separate. I don't know why society goes, oh, you're an alcoholic, that's this division. Oh, you got drug problems? Oh, that's division over here. When it's all the same cause. And that's the problem. Everyone is trying to remedy the result. not the cause. And that's what we're trying to educate people. That's why we have Thinking Out Loud, so people can actually hear our thoughts on this, because I know that when people start hearing this perspective, all of a sudden they never get to depression, because they're aware of it, and because people are teaching just the wrong things. Like, we're making depression and anxiety as the excuse now. Like, how many times have you heard it? Oh, my anxiety is going up, or my depression is really bad today. That's not how it works. You get a bad perspective. You think of the worst fucking things in the world. You think you're going to fail. You think you're a loser, whatever it is, just some kind of bad perspective in your life. So you all of a sudden get depressed from it. That's why you're in depression. It's not reverse, where you get depression and all of a sudden, oh, I got depression. I don't know how I got that. Shit. Now I'm gonna think bad thoughts because I got the depression. And then that's it. That's how it works. And now I'm depressed because of depression. That's not how it works. So little things like this is what's gonna help people out. You gotta change your perspective and then take action on that. Anyway, one of the things that we're doing to try test it out tonight, instead of me just yapping at you, we actually invited someone, a guest, that's just willing to talk about his struggles. He had constant struggles, throughout his life. So maybe other people can relate, and hopefully we can kind of talk about, what he's gone through and what he's doing, and what he's, how maybe we can help even a little bit more, right? And really just getting out of him how we can get out of the thing. So this is our friend, PJ Dubnak.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, PJ.
Joanne, hi. How you doing, Kristen?
Good.
So, PJ, just give a quick intro, I guess, like, how you met us, who you are, all that stuff.
All right. Well, I think it was 2013. I ended up getting introduced to Kristen and Jack through my friend Brian Vermillion, who most people know as the Verm. From there, I really liked their positive attitude and their outlook on life. And I was going through a lot of struggles in my life. And, they kind of been through that. They saw downward spirals and stuff like that. But I'm thankful that I got to meet people like them, because they kind of helped me get out of it. And I'm very thankful to know someone like them.
Awesome. So, yeah, I know. Like, when I met him, he was a little off. So.
Good person, but
good
definitely
person.
a little...
You just know that he had a good heart.
Yeah.
But he was just off. I mean, you can tell when people are a little off.
Just lost.
Just not comfortable. Yeah, just completely lost. PJ, that time, when we've met and stuff, like, what exactly was going through your head? Like, what was your perspective? Like, what was going on? So maybe, because I'm sure people are going to relate and be like, holy shit, that's where I'm at. I
mean, it's really hard to actually pinpoint one thing that was going through my mind. It was my mind never stopped. It was constant, what I was going through with my son's mom, what I was going through just in life in general, like with just having a child and not knowing how to deal with the struggles, not even knowing what I wanted to be, because I spent my whole life following dreams, instead of focusing on a career. But once again, people have to do what makes them happy, and is what it is. But I think like the main problem is I just didn't want to admit to myself when I was at a young age that I knew I had problems. And the hardest thing is because you feel that people are going to judge you.
Yeah.
They're going to think you're a freak or you're scary. They don't know how to react to someone that, talks about like wanting to take their life or wanting to like what depression's like or anxiety. People just say, oh, I don't want to hear about that. Like I have my own problems.
Yeah.
Well, when you're at that state, you've had suicidal tendencies. Have you tried? Have you been there?
I've had suicidal tendencies since the age of 10.
Since the age of 10.
Wow.
So what ages were they? 10 and
it's always a battle. I mean, it's not something that just goes away. I mean, it's part of mental health disorders, depending what you have. I'm diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder and acute psychosis. Yeah. If nobody knows what that is, it's schizophrenia mixed with severe bipolar. And acute psychosis means you hear things and maybe hallucinate things that are not there. So if you ever feel like you hear like someone calling your name or you hear a bunch of voices, that's what psychosis is. So I have a tendency to where I constantly feel like somebody's calling my name, like even though I'm the only person there, but you hear something like calling your name, and you might see something that's not there, like a shadow, something around you, that you made up, you manifested.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's scary sometimes, like, because you never know what's going to happen. It just,
yeah, that's some deep rooted shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's basically, right? It's like some deep root stuff. So was it since you were 10, you were already basically suicidal?
yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Now, what was going on in your life when you were 10 years old? Like, were there problems at home?
I mean, I remember everything. Like, that's the problem is it's the way I was treated. The way peers treated me, always picking on me, making fun of me, and me not understanding why they're doing this to me and nobody else.
So you were being bullied?
I was bullied my whole entire life. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. I think you've mentioned that a while ago.
Every single day was a struggle.
Yeah. And it's funny because, again, right, let me just interject real quick about that. Everyone tries to remedy the result instead of the cause, right? So when it comes to bullying, I've seen that people are always trying to put something into the system that can fix bullying. And to me, it's like, what's the cause of bullying? Because we all know people that were huge, right? Mm-hmm. But why didn't they become bullies? Because they would have been the best at it. Like, why not? It would have been so easy. They're huge. They can push anyone around with no problem. So people are not looking at what's causing the bully. A lot of times, almost probably 100% of the time, it's from home, man. Mm-hmm. The cause is from home. The parents need to stop fighting. The parents need to stop kicking the kid's ass, putting him down. Something is causing that at home. No one just becomes bullies. And the way I try to relate with some people, I say, like, it's the same thing people look at the way with pit bulls, right? Oh, pit bulls, all pit bulls are bad. And it's like, it's not true. Nope. The ones that bite is because they got beat up.
They were taught that.
Yeah, they were basically taught that. So that's like putting something in place to fix the dogs from biting and putting a muzzle, right? That's how they fix the problem for bullying dogs. But that's not the cause. It's just bad parenting from the owners. Mm-hmm. And so that's the same thing. So those are kind of the things. And it sucks what you went through, but it's just the kids that bullied you, the parents didn't do a good job. Period. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
And one thing, so if anyone's like out there listening about the bullying, it's like the more you can understand that, the more I hope you can understand when you are getting bullied, that they might be going through something a little worse than you are with them.
Right.
Just saying. Because that's what happens most of the time. Most of the bullies are going through some shit and they just want to take it out on someone else. Mm-hmm. And it's not intentional. They just end up doing it.
Right? They don't know any better. Either an older sibling is picking on them or the parents aren't getting along or whatever. There's something that they have to let something out of themselves so they don't self-destruct.
Right.
So they're just taking it out elsewhere.
Right. And then when you have that different perspective, when you know something might be worse with someone else, I think you'll kind of treat it a little bit differently. At the same time, obviously, it's out of your control if you're getting bullied by the kids and stuff. It always sucks no matter what. But that's just nature, though, like it's just nature. It's the way dogs try to be the alpha kind of thing. It's the same thing. But anyway, back to your thing here. So I know you were suicidal and stuff. And, obviously that's what we're trying to prevent, right? Mm-hmm. We don't want people getting there. So we believe that doing it this way, getting in front of people and talking about that, will hopefully get other people to understand it a little bit better. So at what stage did you finally make the most changes? Because obviously right now you're pretty much you're kind of in a better place, definitely, mm-hmm. Right? Like it's an ongoing thing. It's always, when people don't think like all of a sudden like, oh, I still have depression. Like, dude, no shit, because it's a fucking emotion. Like, yeah. If someone dies, I'm gonna get depressed. I'm happy now. Like I'm happy, but when someone passes away, I'm gonna get depressed. For someone to think that that's not gonna happen is fucking crazy. Yeah. Oh, my anxiety. No shit, because you think you're gonna get made fun of when you go on stage. Like it's a result. It's not the cause. What are you thinking about? Because that's what's causing it. All these issues, people need to know that it's all internal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? All internal.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this applies to you or not, but I'll bring it up a little bit later. So you're in a better place now. So what made you kind of get in a better place? Like, where you're at?
What was the switch?
Yeah. What made
Rock
you,
bottom. Like,
how are you better today?
Yeah, it was rock bottom, like just you get so caught up. Like the problem is like a lot of people like me that have mental health issues, like you said, we get stuck in addiction. We get stuck in a process to where, you kind of brought yourself so far down and, eventually you just have to say, you have to stop, Yeah. So I went to the mental institution. I've been there twice, but that's what helped me a lot is because I understand I'm not the only person struggling with it.
Right.
Not everybody has mental health issues, like me, and everyone is different with the way how they struggle with things. Some people, all they do is wake up and drink every day.
Yeah.
Some people, they go on drug binges,
Yeah.
But the question is, no one asks like why or how or like, how are you feeling today? Are you all right today?
Right.
And that's what I did. And going through therapy definitely helped me out a lot because it helped put like exactly what you said, perspective. It helped me showing that like I'm not the only person that struggles with this. Like, it just let me go over the past because the problem with people like me, we live in the past. We're not looking forward to the future because we don't think we have a future.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't see ourselves in the future. We see ourselves like, we're looking like we're lucky if we make it through this year, alive.
Yeah.
We're not looking forward. Instead, we're always looking behind. And I think a lot of the problem is that people like me, it took me a long time to get over the past, but therapy helped me with that, with all the struggles I went through. And sometimes I feel like you just got to let go and say, fuck it, and just like move forward.
Yeah.
And, my life's been better. So I've been more positive. I have a better attitude. I gained some weight. You know what? I'm happy that I gained some weight because I don't look like 170 pounds stick man anymore. So,
and it's funny because, you're talking about addiction and all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Again, when I talked about earlier, right? It all starts with a bad perspective and then it just evolves, right? Addiction is here. People treat it this way. Oh, I have addiction. So now I have a problem.
It all goes hand in hand, so.
Yeah, people don't need help because they're fucking addicted. They need help. That's why they're addicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
See, I started smoking weed.
Because people have it fucking way the other way.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, you know what they do? They blame the bottle. They go like, oh man, if I drink again, I'm going to go back into my hell. No, you're fucking thinking about hell. That's why you keep drinking, dude. It's the other way.
I agree.
So this is not being taught. This is not being taught out there. They're always blaming, oh, you have addiction? No, he's got a fucking, I can't forgive my dad problem.
Yeah.
I have a problem to forgive myself for all the regrets. That's the problem. It's not the beer. So what I've learned, what I've learned is that, it's really a bonding issue why people get addicted. Because I always say, then explain gambling addiction, explain sex addiction. What did they put in their body that made them addicted? Not a fucking thing. So what's causing it then? If you think it's the beer, if you think it's alcohol, that's not it. So it's really something that's internal all the time. With mental health, it's all internal, man. When people can't forgive someone else, it's like, dude, just letting you know, it doesn't help the other person that you didn't forgive them, but it's fucking you up. So, I'm glad now you're in a better place when you're thinking about that, because I feel bad for these people that blame it on a bottle. And it's like, they think like, oh, they're at the wedding. Like, no, dude, no, I can't, I'm off right now. Like, what the fuck's the problem? You really don't have the will. But that means you didn't fix the cause. Like, you didn't fix it yet.
Yeah. You didn't make a decision to fix the cause.
Exactly that.
Decision.
A lot of times people, I don't know why people have a hard time. It all starts with a decision.
So you made a decision, PJ. You hit rock bottom. Whatever your rock bottom was, when you were there, you made that decision to say, you know what, I'm done here. I need to fix this.
Yeah. What made you finally go to get help?
My mind, the voices in my head were just getting too much to where I was just drinking all the time and just getting in trouble and just doing dumb shit because.
And what motivated you to finally go?
I did I had no choice. Like I had to do it for myself. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been around much longer.
Yeah.
You know?
So you made the decision. You decided you wanted you wanted to get better.
I got tired of the voices,
Well, yeah, because I remember you all of a sudden got motivated. I mean, it was obviously after we were kind of hanging out, you kind of fell off a little bit. And I think that's when your dad passed away and everything too. It's like,
everything was just bad. Like it was just I was in bad shape, in a bad state of mind.
Yeah.
Bad influence. When we hang out with people that are bad influence and stuff too, like they kind of, persuade you to go one way, and I think that was a lot of problem because like my really good friends, like I had, like, Ron, like that's one of my best friends, and they always, very positive, always kept me up, like never wanted me, get in trouble, always had my back on everything, and I'm lucky to have people like that. I'm lucky to have my girlfriend Leah that I have now because she's a huge supporter role for me, and
Ron's the kid with the curly hair.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know who you're talking about. Mr. Ron is the kid with the crazy curly hair.
I'm just lucky that I was able to, I was fortunate enough not to, take things too far before it was, I was sleeping.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, you have to look at too, like you can't just think about yourself, and that's the problem with people like us is we like to think that it's us, like it's always us. We're not worried about anybody else. We're just worried about me.
Yeah.
In the end, you have to stop. You have to think. You have to look back. It's not just about you. It's about your mom. It's about your dad. It's about your brother. It's about your kids. It's about your aunts, your uncle, your cousins, your friends. Everyone else you're going to affect by just making one simple mistake. How many lives you're going to affect in the long run of it?
But I do have to correct you on that one. Even though other people are involved, it all stems from you.
Yeah.
It's no one's ever to blame. No one. You are always 100% accountable for your own fucking happiness.
Yeah.
Learn when people have this bad perspective, they love excuses and they fucking hate accountability. Every time when people, I shit you not, I just ask people to dude, you just have to make the decision to start. And they're like, yeah, it's not that easy. And I'm like, holy fuck balls. I'm not telling you to do 50 laps around the freaking city here. Like, all I'm saying is make a damn decision. You can do that instantly. Why does it take so much just to decide? And the only thing that I can think of why people won't go you know what, I'm going to be fucking better, is because once they do that, they're telling everyone, okay, I'm not going to use those excuses anymore. I forgive them. All right. I'm not going to regret and bring up that regret again. Because once they agree that it all starts with a decision, they're afraid, wait, I can't use that excuse anymore. Yeah, but what if things go bad again? That it's my fault? No, I can't have that. I have to blame my dad for that. What do you mean? It's not my fault, dude. No, it's my mom because the way she treated me all my life. That's why I'm fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you get into that zone of blaming. So, this is what I like about this, because when you're talking, I want to make sure I correct some things, because it's a bad perspective when you start blaming, it all stems from you. No matter fucking what, even loneliness. You would think loneliness is caused by other people not fucking hanging out with you, right? But it's actually an internal thing. Social isolation is completely different from that. The way we're quarantined right now, this is isolation. We don't have anyone around or whatever. But you can be with freaking hundreds of people at a party and feel lonely.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say about last week too. It's the same feeling. That's the way I used to feel. I always felt you'd be surrounded by all these people, but you just feel like you're the only person there.
Exactly.
Because you don't feel like you fit in. You don't know what to say. You don't know how to act. You don't know what to do. It's because everything's awkward to you because your anxiety. I didn't even know anxiety was real until I went and saw a therapist, and he was seeing all my nervous twitches and stuff like that. He's like, "What anxiety is?"
Again,
existed.
Yeah. So now I got to bring it up again. So I want to make sure the audience is listening to this shit, right? So when people keep using the anxiety that way, it causes more problems. So anxiety is not it's invisible, and you're blaming anxiety, or you're saying oh, I didn't know anxiety was real, because it's an emotion. It's a result. Of course it's real. The problem is not anxiety. You can't just go like anxiety. It's like someone going like, what's the problem? My parents. Well, everyone has parents.
Yeah.
What? I don't get it. What do you mean? You have because you have parents? Like, no. So that doesn't make sense, right? That's just the result. That's just a result. I've learned that a cause is always a fucking verb. Always. It's never a noun. So you can't go anxiety. No. What is causing anxiety? That means you're anxious. Well, what's causing you to be anxious? Well, I keep thinking this and this and this, which makes you anxious. Well, fuck, now you have anxiety. If I thought the same exact thing you did, I would be really anxious and I will also have anxiety.
Yeah.
So I do not like when people blame this invisible excuse. Oh, it's my anxiety. What the fuck are you talking about? Where did you put this anxiety? What are you talking about? Or, oh, it's my depression. I've been dealing with it since 2019. Like, what? You've been dealing with an emotion since 2019? I don't hear people talking about like, oh man, I lost anger like 12 years ago. I'm never angry anymore. It's craziness. So I just want to make sure that you keep that perspective. Like, dude, you can't blame this invisible thing. That's why PTSD is fucking incurable because when they think about the bad thoughts, it means, oh, I must still have PTSD. No, it's called you're human. I mean, I don't know what to say there. That's like saying like, oh, I don't miss someone anymore when they pass away. It's like, dude, like now if I think about it, I'm like, oh man, I'm depressed again because I keep thinking about the person that passed away. I better take these pills. It's crazy. So I want to make sure I correct things like that people say, because people that are watching, they need to fucking know this. They need to stop blaming this invisible fight. Like, it's invisible. You're taking drugs to get rid of an emotion. It's insane.
You're supposed to have these emotions.
Right.
You're supposed to have all these emotions.
And the drugs make you worse, actually. Like, I stopped taking them because they literally make you worse.
They do. Yeah.
The side effects of the drugs are suicide. Like, you have suicidal tendencies. And I said to my therapist, like, I'm already suicidal. Why are you giving me drugs that are going to make me more suicidal?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no sense.
Let's go back to that. People don't need help because they're suicidal. They need help. That's why they're suicidal.
Yeah.
So the fucking drugs is just a remedy to the result. And it's kind of like when people, I've talked to people in military, right? When people are in military, I'm just like, dude, that's like you breaking your leg and telling everyone motivating you and saying like, dude, just walk it off. You got this. You're the man. What do you mean? You're the shit. And so what does the guy has to do to walk on it? He takes numbing pills, right?
Yeah.
Numb the pain. So now he's walking. Is it getting any better?
No.
Of course not. It's actually getting fucking worse. And then it's going to get to the point where the person is going to say, I can't handle the pain anymore. And that becomes suicide.
Yeah.
All the freaking guy had to do when you break your leg, what do? Rest, man. Sit the fuck down. You need to heal. You need to cry your ass off a little bit.
You need to deal with it. Accept it.
Exactly. So this PTSD thing, like, dude, it's not an invisible PTSD. Oh, my PTSD. What the fuck are you talking about? Where do you keep this PTSD? What do you mean you got it? Like, do you just get it? Like, how do you just get PTSD? What's causing it? Well, like, if you keep thinking about that trauma, of course you're going to get it. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm not saying it disappears the next day. You know, if I lose someone, I'm not going to all of a sudden not miss them. But that's my point. Depression is necessary. Mm-hmm. That's why you go through 5 stages of grief. You go through DABDA. You go through denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and then acceptance. Until you freaking get to acceptance, you're going to go jump back and forth to this bullshit. Mm-hmm. That's what's going on now with coronavirus. Everyone's like, nah, denial, right? Like, nah, that's not going to come to the U.S. We're straight. What do you mean?
Like, they're not going to quarantine us at home.
Right. We're not going to get quarantined. And then boom, oh shit. And then anger. This is some bullshit. I can't believe we're freaking quarantined. It's fucked up. No one's doing it yet, right? And then bargaining. All right, I'll stay home for a minute, and then I guess this and that and this. And all of a sudden, this is the stage no one's going through with the COVID-19 yet. That's why we're doing this right now.
Yeah.
Depression. It's gonna fucking hit.
Yeah, a lot of people.
People think there's still jobs to go back to. like
a lot of businesses aren't going to reopen.
They have no idea what the fuck is going on out there. That's why I'm like, I'm hoping people that are watching, like, fucking spread the word about this. Like, dude, we need to talk to more people. And that's why we try to raise funds for this, because we can't afford to just spread the word. You know, the only way is through, you know, marketing, ads and stuff. But how the hell else am I going to reach people? And these are things they need to fucking hear, because it's going to hit them. I'm not going to wait when they get depressed or when they get suicidal. Why the fuck are we going to wait for that?
We want to change your perspective now.
Right.
We
need to change the perspective now before they get suicidal. Because I'm telling you, the people that are going to lose their house, their cars, their wives because of all this bullshit is going to get pretty bad.
It's gonna get bad. But I mean, like me, I'm just staying positive. Like I know I'm probably gonna lose a lot of stuff, and I don't know what's gonna happen yet. But you know what? Like you have to understand, like you're not the only one going through it. You know, there's millions of people worldwide that probably have it way worse than me. You know, that people that lost someone, and that's what I think. That's how I look at it. The way I see the perspective is that I'm not the only one struggling with this. We're not the only country dealing with this. You know, there's people all around this world that are struggling, that are going through the pain, the heartache right now as we sit here. And, you know, and that's what other people don't think about sometimes. That's what they forget, that, you know, the world is way bigger than, you know, the one town that you live in, you know.
Yeah.
You feel like there's something million people just in America alone. And this isn't just affecting one individual. This is affecting a whole entire country and a whole entire world.
It's the world. The thing is, again, it's always about perspectives. People that are going through some shit, you are not the only one going through it.
Exactly. You know, and I just want people to understand that. Like, listen, if you need to reach out to me, reach out to Jack. Like, reach out to anybody, because, you know, like sometimes, like you need someone to talk to that will just listen.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely. That's why our color for our foundation is teal.
Yeah.
Time, effort, attention, and love. You've got it. You've got to put in the time, a little bit of effort, give that person attention, and then give them some love. You have, like you said, you have to listen. Someone's got to be there to talk to.
And you provide teal, not when it's necessary.
Right.
It's always fucking necessary. Your kids, dude, give teal. Like, you got to give teal now, not tomorrow when it's nice out.
Yeah.
Like,
today.
Do it right now, today.
Right now.
You go to the back of the room, you got your fucking kid, and you hug them up. You spend the time, and then the effort, and then the attention, and then the love. Like, if you keep doing that, they shouldn't go to freaking suicidal tendencies, because a lot of it comes from that, right? Yeah. I know we kind of went over what we planned to go over here. Does anyone have any questions, something they want to bring up, whether you want to ask me, ask PJ, you know, kind of maybe something that can help you out, even a general question for someone else, or a future, something you might be struggling with in the future. Just ask us some questions.
Maybe a future topic you want us to discuss, or find someone to help us talk with.
Yeah, I'm down to answer any questions. If anybody has questions, I'm down. Like, I'm not shy about it. Like, I understand everything I've been through in life, and, you know, it's getting comfortable with yourself is like the main thing. And it's when when I was growing up, like, I used to look in the mirror and not see anything, and I used to hate myself. I used to want to break the mirror every single morning. You know, now I just look in the mirror and just like, you know, like, you are who you are. Yeah. Life goes on, and smile.
Right. The thing is, you're going to have bad days.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be where you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, mother.
Everybody has those days.
So, you know, and I always have to do that just to make sure that people aren't going like, oh, so that's what you do. You know, every time you look in the mirror, like, no, dude, I'm telling you, there's going to be some times that life bitch slaps you. It just doesn't work, man. So you just really need to just sit the fuck down and concentrate. But a lot of times you don't realize it, and then you have to do something about it, right? But it's just, you just have to keep yourself in check. I kind of tell people, it's like, you know, people are talking about your personal brand and all that. You're actually your own personal business. Like, in a business, people are always checking their numbers, where they're at, or, you know, just an evaluation. we're very similar to that. We're businesses, people, especially entrepreneurs, like businesses are just almost an extension of themselves, what they're good at, what they know, something. And that's how they ended up doing that, right? Their passion, something. And people have to understand that, like, you have to just constantly start looking at yourself and go like, how am I doing? I mean, I'm talking even financial. That's just a part of you, your personal business, right? It's like, all right, you're broke, but why the fuck are you broke? What are you doing to increase the revenues like a business would? What are you doing to increase your income? What are you doing to have more time to do this? And what are you doing? So you always have to reevaluate every time. You don't just go like, I'm good. No business does that. I'm good. And just keep doing business. So as people, it's like, you don't just go, well, what do I do? That's why people get lost. It's like, well, where are you going?
Right.
So
someone suggested maybe for a future talk, coping mechanisms.
Coping mechanisms.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that could be a thought.
Okay. So maybe the next one, something about the coping. I have to think about that.
That's actually a tough one because
that's something we're gonna have to actually think on and figure out a bunch of things done, it's a lot of work.
I mean, just to talk about it. Just to talk about it now. I mean, coping mechanisms, like I don't know, it's always ongoing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a business that you think you could just succeed the whole time. It's like, that doesn't happen. Right. You can't keep using the same fucking system, these same coping mechanism fucking things, and you think that's how you're going to cope with customers. You have to evolve. Your life always changes. The PJ today is so not the fucking PJ of the past, we knew and it is not going to be the same PJ of the future.
Right.
Definitely not. I smile more now.
Right? The only constant is fucking change, man. So it's impossible. So the coping mechanisms always change, and it's hard just thinking about that because it's different for everyone.
Yeah,
it is for sure.
Right? There's some people that were poor as fuck and they didn't have anything at all when they were growing up, and this and that, and so they grew up this way. There were people that were rich as hell, except the parents never took time to hang out with them, and they're lonely as hell, and they went into drugs. Like, it's so different. So coping with all these different things it's never one thing. The only way for me to help you how to cope with things is I have to listen. Yeah. But more importantly, you have to listen to yourself. And then you got to freaking go through it by complaining. And I've talked about this last time. Complain your ass off because it's going to build you a roadmap of what the fuck you need to work on. Oh, I just don't have enough time. Oh, man, I can't do this. Oh, I don't have enough money. All right, list that shit out. Now you go, all right, what's going to give you more time? Okay, you said something about money. Did you give out did you hand out your resume? No.
Like, what are you doing to fix
So I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Oh, my relationship with my dad is this. Like, well, what have you done to change that?
Yeah, well, that's kind of funny you brought that up because when you go into the mental hospital, that's actually what they do. They make you write a list of what you need to change to better yourself and what you need to do it. And the end goal is by the time you leave is that you have the mentality to understand what you're doing because they make you write everything out. And you know, they make you read it out loud to everybody too.
Right. Oh, so that's good. Those are good.
You have to say it out loud.
Yeah, they want you to know why you're here. They want you to be 100% honest, you know, and then you just tell your story.
Yeah.
And then what you do, the way they put you in a group and everybody just talks and pretty much everyone gets an understanding that, you know, you're not the only person. And you have a whole workbooks that you have to do and you just fill everything out. And it talks about, you know, where do you feel like you'll be in 5 years? Like, where do you feel this is going to be? You know, but they want honest answers, you know.
And now are you seeing the resemblance with the business?
Yeah.
And personal? Where the fuck do you want to take this business in 5 years? Businesses do that. You know how many people don't?
Yeah.
They don't go, what am I going to do in 5 years? They don't, dude. They don't. They don't go like, man, what the fuck did I spend on last month? They don't. And that's why they get into financial difficulties. And then all of a sudden their mental state just diminishes and all of the above because they don't reevaluate and then go. And once you evaluate, you go, okay, what caused that? Oh, because you keep watching Netflix. Got it. Oh, you never forgave your mom for that. or, oh, you're still regretting about that and you keep bringing it up as an excuse. So you have to figure out the cause. So it's cute that you're seeing the results of things that, oh, I'm this, oh, I'm poor, oh, I don't have money. Yeah, these are just all the results. These are not the causes. These are not the causes. Again, I always say it's a fucking verb. What is the verb that's causing this? It's because you're being lazy? Is it because you're not doing anything about it? There has to be some kind of action that causes something, and there has to be an action that fixes the damn problem.
Yep.
The solutions are always verbs.
Yep.
It's never a noun. Ever.
No.
Like, ever. So, yeah, I guess
you had to act to change all of the problems and all the issues that you were having, and you're like, you actually had to make a decision and act on.
Yeah.
You had to act
I ain't lazy. I ain't lazy person. You know, I do, like, I'm a very ambitious person, but it's when
you're not lazy.
No, it's when the thing triggers. You know, when something it gets triggered, you become a whole different person. And now the problem is learning how to understand why that was happening, and in order to understand how, like, the order to fix it, you got to understand why.
Right.
How did you get there? Like, how did this happen? Like, you see all the positive things. What was bringing you there? And it was all stuff stemmed up from the past. You know, it was just things that didn't feel good.
And it's always perspective. Of the past. It's not the past. Again, you can't blame, oh, it's the past. No. It's what you're thinking about the past.
Exactly.
Always a verb, dude. Always a fucking verb. Right? When people start doing that, oh, it's depression. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Oh, it must be that incident back in 1992. No, it isn't. That's not it. So
thinking about the incident.
Yeah, it's the way you're, what verb are you using about that past? That's what's fucking you up, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm constantly correcting people like, dude, don't do that. That ain't it.
That's we understand bad things happen. We get that.
Right.
That's not, we're not saying, you know, never think about things like that. It's hard. It's impossible to never think about a bad thing that happened to you ever again in your life. It's impossible to do that.
And that's actually why I say this. And because I want people to know it's impossible to never just get depressed. It's impossible to have this living life to the fullest mindset where you don't worry about anything. It's fucking impossible. It's not about, you know, the meaning of life. It's what makes life meaningful. So when you think about that, you always need the struggle.
Yeah.
You have to embrace the pain to appreciate the freaking pleasure, you know? So it's one of those things. So I'm not always happy. Like, that's why I talk like this. And I'm just like, dude, depression, that's normal, dude. I don't know when depression or anxiety or, you know, emotions became abnormal. I have no idea when. Because growing the fuck up, when people got depressed, they got depressed.
That's true. I mean, but
there were no pills for my grandparents to go like, oh, you want to get rid of that pain from someone passing away? Here you go. No one did that. I don't know what the fuck changed. I have no idea, but people wanted excuses. That's the problem.
That's
people
true.
got into the role of like, what can I do as an excuse? Because I have this problem and I really want to keep this because once I fix it, I'm accountable for it. No, I want to keep blaming that excuse. So I'm going to go ahead and agree with the PTSD.
Yeah.
Can I get my pills now? Thanks.
I feel worldwide within the next 10 years, mental health is gonna become an insane problem. Just alone with the young kids that are in college right now, to these EDM shows and all doing these, you know, things that are just destroying their serotonin levels and all that stuff. I feel like within the next 5 to 10 years, you're gonna see a huge rise. A lot of young suicide.
It's already the second leading cause of death for young adults. Already. Today. And I talked about this last week. Loneliness is a bitch. That really causes a lot of suicides, obviously. And what's funny is loneliness is very common in young adults and the elderly, which kind of explains why the young adults are just, because you're going through so many changes. Like, I mean, people committing suicide before even high school. Like, dude, you haven't even lived. You were just in training. Like, you got bullied in school. Whoop de fucking do. You know how many people graduate and they don't ever see any classmates?
Right.
And they're concerned about being bullied in high school. Oh no. Like, I know it sucks, man. but you got to learn the perspective, get your perspective straight. Like, dude, you're just in training.
Yeah.
In training. What are you going to do about it? It's like, now what?
I agree.
It's after that. Like, I feel.
A lot of problems is like when we were growing up, we had to face our bullies. We had to see them like person to person, eye to eye. Where nowadays these people are hiding behind a keyboard, and they could be like a 35-year-old man, acting like a child and putting little kids down for something. And that's what the scary part is. And and that's what I worry about with my own kids too. Is like when my son's using computers, playing games and stuff like that. Like you don't know what people are saying when on online.
Yeah, I totally get it. It's kind of like. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me right now.
Yeah.
That shit hurts you, dude. Like
it hurts.
It's some long-term shit. It's actually sometimes even worse.
But I prefer broken bones and concussions and pain over.
Actually heal quicker from those.
Because those mental things stay with you for a long time.
Yeah.
Things people say to you and do to you, it ends up it stays like you just don't ever forget. And
you start to believe it after a while.
Yeah, well, you start believing, especially like when people are telling you that you're dumb or you're retarded or you're stupid. If enough people are telling you that on a regular basis, you start believing that because you feel that's what everyone feels the way you feel.
Yeah.
So we'll just become that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I have to keep reminding, like, dude, your mental state of mind is always internal.
Yeah.
Always. It's what you told yourself. That's it.
Exactly.
That's it. It's not because someone told you to, like, well, what are you telling yourself? So, it's always based on that. But we kind of went way over. We're trying to get 30 minutes in, but I guess it just never works.
Well, that's what happens when you're talking to friends, you kind of just like.
Well, yeah. That's what happens. We're just bullshit.
But for everyone that watched, I hope they learned something from this. I think it's nice to have this interaction. I wish people were more interactive, but I guess it's kind of tough right now. But once they start going through some shit, I think that's when they start asking. But even with that, they don't ask. That's why we do this. We have to be proactive.
Yeah, like ask.
Yeah, no, but no matter what, we have to be
proactive. We're here to talk to.
Right.
And also, they might have asked for help a lot, like I used to do all the time, and people just shun them, put them down, like saying, "I don't want to hear about your problems. I have my own," and stuff like that.
Yeah, right.
But not realizing that these people, like where they are in their mind, is not where you're at in your mind. Their mind's going way darker, and they're asking you for help. They're asking you
right.
When someone actually asks for help, there's an actual problem. People have their own problem. Like, oh, I don't want to hear it. I have my own problems. But you're not reaching out for help. This person's reaching out for help. So you have to give them, you should give them that time and that attention,
But it's funny though, when, because there's a contradiction also, right? Because I get what you're saying, like, oh, you got to help the ones that are going through whatever. But at the same time, it's so tough because what do we tell ourselves? Don't hang around negative people. Guess who the fucking negative people are? The one that have issues.
Mm-hmm. People
that are in a good place, they don't, you know what I mean? Like, it's always the ones that are negative. They always have issues. And so we're being told, like, stay away from them because they're going to bring you down. And the thing is, that's the fucking truth. It's the truth.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard. And that's why no one really reaches out because, yes, you are fucking annoying. You got to be honest about this shit. This whole like trying to be politically correct, like, dude, if you're negative and all you do is complain, I don't want to hang around you. Like,
right.
It's annoying.
Yeah.
Like,
it becomes exhausting.
Right.
But those are really
that's teal.
Yeah,
that's why it's like it's teal. It's time,
I have to do it.
Effort, attention, and love. I hate you, but I love you.
Those are the ones you have to pay the most attention to. It's just because the reason that they do that, like is because they need help and they don't know how to do it. They don't know how to go get it themselves, and they're too scared to go talk to anybody because they're afraid. Like me, I was too afraid to even say I had mental health issues because I knew I did. Me personally, I already knew I did. I wasn't dumb. But
being aware.
Yeah, I was very aware. But the fact is that you just don't want to be labeled. You don't want to be that you don't want someone to look at you and be like, oh, well, he has mental health issues. You can't hang out with him or you can't talk to him. It's like they make you feel like you're broken and that like you're just no good anymore. When that's totally it's totally false because not everyone that has mental health issues is a criminal killing people.
Right.
you know, going on violent rampages. You know,
Right.
it's some of the things that just comes along with it. But I mean, not all, like, we're not all bad. And that's the main thing people need to understand is that, you know,
All of you.
yeah, I love you guys. Like we are good. It's just, you know, we just have to put a little bit more effort into things more than some people. And that's the hardest thing. And a lot of people aren't willing to put that effort in. So that's why they become a certain way. But I'm always fighting because, you know, I don't want my kids to be raised with, you know, not to have their dad in their life. And I'm still a brother. I'm still a son. I'm a boyfriend. You know, one day I'll be a husband. And I look forward to those little things. It's all about you have to look forward to, you know, every day. You can't, you know, every day is going to be a new day. And every day, you know, you have to find something that you're going to enjoy. If it's walking, riding a bike, going out and just doing something every day. Like right now, I know it's hard in New Jersey, but I mean, just in general, it's every day you just have to, you know, find something to push yourself a little bit to just like to get you out of that mind frame to where your mind, you don't allow your mind to get there.
Yeah.
A lot of people like me, like, you know, when, you know, if you're sitting here idle hands, you're going to get bored. Like you'll start thinking about things. So you just have to try to stay active and walk around, like, you know, take the dog for a walk, just do something that just, you know, allows your mind to just stop and you just, you know, you start.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is because, what's her name? Lisa Rankin. She is the author of Mind Over Medicine. And basically what you're trying to do is put yourself in a, fucking forgot the state. A rest state. I forget what it is. Basically, there's this a rest response. Or no, I forget what it was. So you have stress responses, obviously dealing with bad shit, and then you got that rest state. I forget what it's called. But that's the only time your body actually heals itself. So when it comes to the mind, with the whole, you know, chemical imbalance and all that stuff, unless you're in that state of mind, it's never going to correct itself. And so that's why you have to do. That's why they do the breathing exercises and all that stuff. People realize, like, you know, even just smiling, it creates, like, you know, this physiological effects that will help you. So the only time that really helps is when you're taking your dog for a walk and relax, you know, and not thinking about things. That's the only time your body actually fixes yourself. That's why when you're sleeping, that's when you get energized.
When you're sick, they always say, what do they tell you to do? Rest.
Yeah.
You know,
because that's the only way your body's going to work. If you keep putting stress, your body never fixes itself, whether it's your mind or your body, right? So that's what you have to do. But all right, Finn, no one else has any questions. I guess we should probably
it's been almost an hour.
Any comments, feedback, that would be awesome. You know, hopefully people kind of learn from this shit, because we're just starting now. But like I said before, like, this is just going to get worse as people start seeing the results of this pandemic. I mean, people are,
it's crazy.
I mean, man, we have the potential of another Great Depression here. Like, imagine getting in line for fucking bread, man. Like
martial law, who knows?
Martial law, all this stuff. Like, you don't know what's going to happen, how it's going to fix itself. Either way, it's not going to be overnight.
Nah.
You know, there's no way May 30th, okay, everyone's good. You know, like, no. Everyone has to pay bills and they don't have a job. A lot of them.
Yep.
You know, I think unemployment is way above 30% now.
And they're it's not even done yet.
Yeah, so hopefully we do this again.
Well, we're going to do it again next week, next Wednesday, same time, same place.
Tune in next week. Well, PJ, thank you so much for, you know, being open and just expressing, you know, this stuff just to help other people. You know, that's what we wanted. We wanted people to resonate with your stories so that they can actually learn from it. And then hopefully, you know, by commenting on it and really just emphasizing different aspects of it will help different people, you know. So
all it takes. All it takes is, you know, if you could save one person, then, you know, that's one life you saved. You know, you can't, you're going to save all of them, but you have to hope you can save one.
Yeah.
Well, we already know you have to. So just from, you know, working events for us.
Right.
Good thing.
You made people cry with us, you know. Yeah. You know this. All right. I'll talk to you later, PJ.
Right,
until next time, dude.
Right,
see you.
Bye, PJ. Thank you.
Well, guess that is it. We were supposed to go 30 minutes. Obviously, way farther than that.
Double.
Yeah. So if you can help us, just share what we're doing. Help other people. If anyone wants to volunteer, being a guest on our show, discuss some past
Reach
shit,
out to us.
just to help other people. I'm not saying you need help. Either way, what I'm saying is it's never going to go away.
Yeah.
If
you have an awesome story you want to share about how you're dealing with something tragic.
The idea behind Start Day One is to inspire people to help them change their perspective from dreaming of one day to starting day one. So by being able to do that with you is what we need.
Yeah.
I can't do it by myself. So that's why we have Start Day One, to duplicate our efforts. We're supposed to be going to different schools, colleges, and stuff like that right now, but we're in fucking quarantine. So this is really, this is the best thing we can do. This is actually probably one of the most effective ways to really duplicate it, right? Is our efforts.
Yeah. But
we just need the funds to really capture more people. Obviously, it's going to be freaking ads. Like, we got to get them to I don't know, listen to what we're saying, because people are going through some shit, but I'm telling you, they're not going to call out for help. Like, no one's going to call a suicide prevention line because they think, oh, I'm not suicidal, because he's not there yet. This is suicide. This is complaining. Like, they think you don't need it because they're here. Well, once you're here, it gets worse and worse and worse. Just like people that get obese. Yeah. Like, no one plans on being overweight. Like, it just gradually gets there, and all of a sudden you're like, holy, what happened? What happened? Yeah. So that's what we're trying to push. But anyway, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for tuning in.
We really appreciate it. And until next week,
same place, same everything.
Yeah. So I think 8:00 is good. We'll see. We'll ask people. But thank you. Appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.